Hello and welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I am joined on the stage, and I think this is the first conversation we're having on commitments, communities and commitments. And it's an all-women panel. Isn't that exciting? I am joined on stage by Nandita. I have a Goodness here, and I have Aisha. They are all youth leaders doing amazing work in their communities. So without wasting much time, I just want you to introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do, and the things that you care about.
My name is Goodness Ogeyi Odey. I am from Nigeria. So I worked on the Sustaining Evidence-Driven Advocacy project with International Youth Alliance for Family Planning, where we were able to work on the first ever sexual and reproductive health and rights policy, which is specifically youth-friendly focused. And then in between, I'm engaged as an SRHR advocate. I also get involved in community development project that promotes public health, promotes gender equality, and young people development. Happy to be here.
Amazing. And Nandita, tell us about yourself and your work.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Nandita Thatte with WHO, the IBP network. I'm based in Geneva, but I've come there by way of India, Canada, and the United States. And at WHO, we host the IBP network. It's a network of NGO and civil society organizations dedicated to supporting the dissemination and use of WHO guidelines, evidence-based practices, research, but also importantly, hearing from local partners on what are the gaps in implementation and how can WHO better serve the needs of the communities in which we work. So very happy to be here.
Amazing. And Aisha, tell us about yourself.
Okay, my name is Aisha Waziri, and I'm from Nigeria. I am a 120 under 40 leader. And in this conference, I am one of the members of the youth subcommittee that planned this conference for young people. Back in Nigeria, I work to ensure that young people, particularly young girls, have access to family planning so that they are able to achieve their maximum potentials in life. This is because I believe that if young people have access to family planning, they would be able to achieve all their dreams, even in countries like mine, where young people are married at such a young age. So this is something I love and enjoy doing. So very happy to be here with everyone.
Amazing. What I loved was you guys talking about that you love doing this work. Back to you, Aisha. You talked about that you were part of the subcommittee organizing the youth pre-conference.
Yes.
That just ended. By a show of hands here, who attended the youth pre-conference? Any attendees? Amazing. We were all there. All right. So I want you to talk about the sessions that you attended. I wasn't there, so I want to know, what did you guys discuss? What did you get about? What did you get up to?
Wow. So this year at the youth pre-conference, we had over 300 young people from over 80 countries of the world. Very energized young people, full of energy. We had about 30 breakout sessions where young people were able to strengthen their capacities to be able to better advocate for young people to have SRH information and services, where the skills were also strengthened to be able to, work with sectors that provide the men services, expand access to contraception beyond just having the short-acting methods, but even the long-acting methods for young people who have, bigger visions and need longer-acting methods. In addition to that, we also had young people who shared at the end of the pre-conference that they felt their opinions, their engagements, the conversations they brought to the tables are highly valued. And this is how we want young people to feel, that their opinions, their participation is highly valued and it will be taken seriously. And not only that, they feel prepared to better participate at the men conference, where they will be seeing different stakeholders that actually make the decisions in their country. So
Amazing.
they will be doing a lot of engagement
That's
that
great.
will hopefully, we believe, will move the needles in our countries. Yeah.
Amazing. And Nandita, which session did you join?
So we led the pre-conference on implementation, and it was a very well attended pre-conference. We talked about a number of different topics with a number of sessions as well. But I would say that the main takeaways were really listening to local voices. So we really tried to use that platform to elevate the voices of local partners, local NGOs, and civil society. We also got a little creative and thinking about storytelling and other creative ways to communicate evidence. Being at WHO, we generate a lot of evidence, a lot of guidance, but sometimes it takes more than evidence to convince a policymaker. Even if we have the evidence, that doesn't necessarily mean things will change. And so we have to be creative using storytelling, videos, other ways to really creatively share evidence. And then we talked about monitoring and evaluation. So we know that monitoring is important, but sometimes the important things aren't that easy to monitor. And so we talked about mentorship and collaboration and partnership, all super important things when we're talking about family planning and strengthening quality programming.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And you, goodness, what did you get up to?
So I'm part of the co-chairs who organized the power shifting to advance global health pre-conference.
That was
And
today, right?
yeah, we had it today.
All right.
And I would say the conversation was challenging, at some point discomforting, because this is not an easy conversation. Talking about shifting power, say from the global north to the global south, or talking about how we can say either a rather global north versus global south, we can say global north and global south. So we had a lot of difficult conversation. We had concurrent sessions looking at how we can expand or share power. We had sessions where we discussed on the equity gaps that lies. We had money talks, and from all of these, we're able to get rich outcomes and outputs, which we hope that people will be able to commit to around how we can have trust based funding, how donors can be able to be more inclusive and community based in terms of the perspective they look on initiatives. So it is not doing it for them, but it is doing it with them. And how you're not trying to change the community, but you're trying to work with the community to bring about the change you want to have in that community. So we had really rich conversations on this, and I believe that moving forward, because we have like continuous engagement post power shifting, we hope to be able to get on that big commitment when everybody has processed all of this. So yeah, that's about what we got from today's session.
All right. Amazing. That is a very difficult conversation to have. And I was Googling the other day, Global South. Because, when you think of Global South, you're thinking, okay, the equator maybe going down this way. And then I was enlightened and they said, okay, no, no, no. It's specific countries. It's underprivileged nations. I come from one of the poorest countries and the most overpopulated, Malawi. So this is very passionate to me. I'm like, okay, we need to benefit and we need to lead the conversation. We need to be there. This matters to us and it matters to all of us. I think Nigeria is one of the most populated countries. So this is a very important conversation. So I know you said you want to think and process and make the commitments, but I'm going to put you on the spot right now. We need to make the commitments. So from everything you have learned, what are we changing? What are we learning and what are we going to do differently?
Okay, so what I'm saying when I talk about the commitment, so everyone who attended the pre-conference, we didn't come up with like that big statement everybody's signing to, right? But we're able to get rich output and say, this is what we would like to get out of this. This is like the concrete actions we want to take. And I particularly facilitated that session. So you see concrete actions like shared learning. We see concrete actions like respect. Concrete actions like listing more on learn. Actions like trust-based funding, transparency. So these are the kind of things we are looking at when we want to shift power. And we are hoping that we can take the conversation for that through certain sessions we are having as a post-power shifting pre-conference. Sessions such as the Women Deliver 2023, where we are going to be hosting a workshop. We're going to take the conversation further in the Population Council 2023 conference. And then every other avenue where the members of the Power Shifting Conference and every other person who wants to just follow through on this conversation can be involved as individuals, as organizations, to just keep shifting power and then share the power to advance global health. And then I wanted to clarify something about when you said global north and global south. So that terminology is a bit dicey and also has certain controversies around it. So when you look at global north, it seems like, oh, these are the people who are like civilized, they bring the funding, but we know that there are resources in the acclaimed global south. So it's seeming like, no, you're not coming to help us. We're working together. We're collaborating. Because as a donor, you have what you're benefiting from this support you are providing. And at the same time, the technical resources, the human resources in the global south who you are providing that aid to. And then we know that we talked a lot about decolonizing global health and all of that. So even with decolonizing, this conversation shows that there are like age-long issues, historical issues that has led to where we are in terms of funding and the dynamics around global health. So we're looking at how we can just take that step, but it's going to be a journey. That's why we don't have that big commitment yet. So we hope to take those steps, and from the pre-conference, we advance on it.
Amazing. I love how you pointed out that, the difference between the global north and the global south, and how we're changing the conversation from the donor to the beneficiary to partners. We're working together, we're building forward together. So to you, Nandita, how are
I
we
love what
building
you said
forward
as
together?
well. Yeah, I think it's so important. And I will say, through the IBP track that's organizing the implementation sessions, we have 4 sessions in French. We have the only session in Spanish. Even conferences like these, where we're talking about these topics, let's practice what we preach. Let's have sessions in different languages. Let's be open to new people joining the movement. We've sponsored 3 fellows. I want to shout out to my fellows from Malawi, from Nepal, and from Uganda, young people that we sponsored to attend. I think it's important to create opportunities for everybody. And that's all part of the power shifting, right? It shouldn't be the same people attending the
Every
meetings.
time.
We should have diversity in the language and the content
And young
that
people.
we showcase. And so I love what you said, and we try to practice that through the implementation subcommittee and through IBP.
Thank you so much. And Aisha, to you, what commitments are you making today?
Um, so we should continue to collaborate. Collaboration, very important. Recognizing our different strengths and collaborating and creating synergy to move the conversation forward, which we have seen this year as well as previous years in the Youth Subcommittee, for instance. We have Alan from the International Alliance for Family Planning. We have Cameroon, um, represented by Jackie. You have me from Nigeria. It was a diverse group of young people planning the conference. So even the selection of the breakout sessions were learnings from different countries, learning from different people. So it gave us the opportunity to learn from one another and pick out what works here, what doesn't work anymore, what we need to drop. So which is very important as we continue to collaborate with donors, as you said. You're coming to work with us. So us making the prioritization of what is important right now and how we can better make the conversation happen for young people.
Thank you so much. So that's just a brief rundown of how the pre-conferences went and what we learned. If you are joining us online, don't forget to get involved in the conversation. Even if you are just in the audience, use the hashtag FPNN or the hashtag FP for all or ICFP 2022 so we can know what you think and get you to become a part of the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.